Sawubona and welcome to the first Poet Reacts video. My name is Zewande Bhengu and I will be reacting to some poetry performance videos as suggested by you. So from the comments on the previous video, I did pick one and I will be reacting to that. So this is a poem by Kori. So if you know me, you will know that I do like Kori's writing quite a bit. I find his approach to writing quite interesting. He does on a technical level, he does some really awesome things that I just love. I don't think it's a video that I have watched before, so it's going to be the first time for me as well, and hopefully I will be able to catch some of the things that he's throwing around and we can unpack. With that said, I think let's get into the video and see what Kori has for us. Okay.
I am a voodoo flower. She loves me not. She leaves me not.
Ooh.
In a new set of metal skin, for the next time I mistake my petals for wings.
Oh, okay. The reason I like Kori's writing is that he does this strange thing where it almost as if he writes in circles. He takes one word or a phrase and then bounces around the possible meanings and applications of that meaning while speaking about a certain subject matter. So he started off with this concept of a flower and he's built onto it, right, with this idea of she loves me not, but then he extends from this idea into the next idea that she leaves me. Now, leaves tying back to the flower idea. I'm not going to stop every time, but I want to explain some of the grander concepts in some of the poems, and there's usually quite a lot when it comes to Kori, and I might not get some of them.
Skin, for the next time I mistake my petals for wings. Doll fin and doll face, Bonnie and Hyde, Jekyll and Clyde. We take turns being the monsters behind our nicknames for each other.
Oh, it sounds to me as if he is in an abusive relationship or a relationship that he does not want to be in. If you know Bonnie and Clyde, they were, criminals. So there were a couple who were criminals and they are abusing each other, or it's not a relationship that is ideal. So let's go back.
Take turns being the monsters behind our nicknames for each other.
Oof.
But before we eat each other, we eat each other. Before we fall in hate with one another, we fall in heat.
Oof.
After we meet at the corner of church.
So before we eat each other, we eat each other. So those are two different things. Just based on tone, those are two different things. Before we really get to the bashing, we, first start at the bashing. So if you know what I mean. And I'm actually surprised he did not go into before we fall in hate, we fornicate. Would have been cool. But this is also awesome.
Before we fall in hate with one another, we fall in heat. After we meet at the corner of church and poetry, we order a love supreme.
Okay.
Or maybe just a deluxe kind of thing. For we date a takeaway kind of love.
Oh, okay. He's comparing his relationship and how it began to food. So they ordered something massive as a takeaway. So I want to see where he's going with this.
Or maybe just a deluxe kind of thing. For we date a takeaway kind of love. A what do I take away from this kind of love?
Oh, there goes the flipping. So now he says, so he compared the relationship to a takeaway. So we know what a takeaway is from a restaurant. So he's comparing it to that. And then he says, what do I take away from this? That's clean, man. That's Kori. That's
a takeaway kind of love. a what do I take away from this kind of love. As we premeditate on this, we premeditate our kind of love. So what do I take away from this, what do I take away kind of love, is that in this kind of love, we serve ourselves service first.
Okay. So remember what I said, that he writes in circles and he kind of like does this bouncing thing between meanings of phrases and words. That's exactly what he's doing. It's almost like he's got this idea and he's really exploring it to the fullest on what it can mean in this particular poem, and it's just amazing how he does it, man. I think his creative process, I would love to, I'm really curious as to how he what his creative process is when he writes a poem, because this is Jesus, man. On a technical level, not a lot of people can really achieve this. This is a skill. This is a honed skill. It goes, I think, just beyond just it being art. This is a skill, man. Clean.
So we kind of love. So I can kind of take away from this, what do I...
Let's go back. So you see how he did this thing where he's talking about the take away kind of love. What do I take away from this kind of love? And then he merged that in with the whole scheme of kind of love. So this kind of love, so it bounces back between the take away kind of love and the kind of love. So it's almost like these two ideas just seamlessly just weaving it. On a technical level, this is so sound, man.
Do I take away kind of love, is that in this kind of love, we serve ourselves service first, so we kind of love.
Sounds like he's in a relationship where he started off at the sex level. Now maybe he's in a place where, he doesn't want to be in the relationship because they sold themselves service first. But let's see where he goes.
That in this kind of love, we serve ourselves service first, so we kind of love. So I can kind of take a...
So now they kind of love. So he's not where he wants to be.
We serve ourselves service first, so we kind of love. So I can kind of take away from this, what do I take away from this kind of love? That when she leaves...
Goes back.
I must just not be in season.
It's exactly what I said. So he does this circle thing. So he writes in circles. So now he just gave us like a very big circle. Remember, he started off with I am a voodoo flower. Now he's talking about when she leaves, I must not be in season. This is just amazing.
She proposes, we must be juxtaposed. I suppose my proposal was predisposed to predisposal. In any case, any spousal notion is just opposed. A masquerade.
Okay. So any spousal notion is just opposed. A lot of our lives is performative. We perform our role as a boyfriend or girlfriend. We perform our role as a man or a woman because we are taught what it means to be those things. I think he is referring to that idea that in the grander scheme of things, we are all just in performance, really.
Opposed to predisposal. In any case, any spousal notion is just opposed. A masquerade attempt for those who need contractual love to hide their fickle promises behind. And after all I am as a man is a mask for rent.
After all I am is a mask for rent, as if someone can come into a relationship with him to use him as a shield of sort.
And after all I am as a man is a mask for rent, a sales agent, a James.
A sales agent. So a sales agent, a sales agent. I think some people might not appreciate these kind of technical acrobatics in poetry. I absolutely love them. Absolutely. I think when they're done skillfully, they absolutely tickle something in me. And he's skilled, man. He's skilled.
As a man is a mask for rent, a sales agent, a James Bond housed by the fear of being alone, a toy soldier.
So he's now gotten into this whole scheme of sales, and he's now talking about housed by the fear of being alone. Remember, he is a mask for rent, so now he's talking about housed by the fear of being alone, but also that can also be taken as housed by the fear of being alone. Okay, so he really does this really well, man, this circular writing.
A toy soldier trapped in barbed wired housing, where you see, whenever I find myself broken into, seems all I know is to stitch my tears into manuals on how to live in Stockholm.
Oh, he uses his tears to learn how to live within his suffering. So if you know, Stockholm syndrome is to love your abuser. Again, sticking with that home sale idea, that whole rent sale idea.
For porcelain men, when shattered, mend themselves into plastic liquor. It is in this Ken manner I mind my manner, and keep in mind I am mannequin Sukuroi, master in drunken.
I also had a poem about Kensukuroi. So it's this idea that a pot, when it is broken, it is mended with gold on the cracks, and then the pot is viewed as being beautiful for having broken in the first place. So he's used that imagery.
And keep in mind I am mannequin Sukuroi, master in drunken pottery, maestro in fuckboy sorcery. My floors bloodshot through the poor ceiling, only my poetry remains porcelain.
Oh, so he's gone into the whole clay idea. So from Kensukuroi to the pottery to the porcelain. So he's gone into that scheme. Again, he is still sticking so well to the subject matter, which is also important. As much as you want to do the acrobatics, that sticking to the subject matter is also just vital.
Only my poetry remains porcelain, making my heart wet clay, which explains why whenever my world stops spinning, I find my insides covered with mold in the shape of careless hands.
So mold, there's a double meaning over there, because mold can refer to, bacteria when something gets old. When, say, bread, for instance, gets old, it starts to mold. But also mold, because when you're working with clay, you are molding something, whether you are making a pot or whatever.
I find my insides covered with mold in the shape of careless hands. Why, when relationships sink, I tend to turn to intentships, only to return wanton, inverse lantern, wanting someone or something to uncrumple the forest fire and straighten my heart back into flame. Maybe that explains why I'm here again, apparently having dinner by myself in your company. I think that was absolutely well executed, man. That was absolutely awesome. And this is one of the reasons why I love Kori's writing. I love the technical things that he does right in between, and then in between the in-betweens. It's fascinating how his mind can kind of go there and keep up, and he's able to remember all of this stuff for performance. And the fact that he's able to stick to topic and say all of these incredible things and do these backflips is absolutely awesome. I am not saying this is the best way to write or the only way to write, or that you have to, approach this kind of style in writing for your poem to be perfect or to be great. No, I think that lots of ways to approach poetry. When it comes to Kori, this is a lane that he has forged and he's really doing well in terms of just creative writing. I will not be giving scores like 1 out of 10 or anything like that. I think it will defeat the purpose of these videos, which is just, to review some work and learn and have fun in the process. That's it for today's video. This was Kori Strange. I'm not sure of the name of the poem. If you know it, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to leave a recommendation for the next video. Until then, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe, click that bell icon, and you can follow me on all of my social media. And I will see you again in the next video. Bow!